Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to dive into a book review, and the book that we've got on for this video is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I hope that I'm pronouncing his surname properly. I actually googled his surname, how the pronunciation of it is, and that's what Google said. I hope I didn't butcher it. So let's get into it. So, disclaimer, I came across this book. I have no idea how I came across this book, to be honest with you, but I did first listen to this book on audio before reading it, and then I loved it so much that I actually went out and I bought the book on Amazon, and I read it again and I loved it even more. So on Audible, the way that the story is told is absolutely captivating, because the author obviously uses different tones of voice for the different characters within the book. When he's explaining the scenes that are happening, you actually see it in your mind in a movie, because the descriptions that he uses are so thought out properly in Paulo's writing that I absolutely loved listening to this book, and I think I just listened to it in 2 days because I just kept it playing in the background of whatever it was that I was doing, because I was just so interested in it. We'll get into my opinions of the book later, and we'll get into the book. So Paulo Coelho is a Brazilian writer who's written loads and loads and loads of books, and here it says in the book that he's translated his books into 72 languages. So whatever language you speak, I think you can find this book in it. And he's won awards like the Crystal Award by the World Economic Forum, and he's won the Academy of Letters in 2002, and like here in the book there's a list of all the other books that he has written, but if you want to know that, you can Google him and find out what other books he has written. But today we talk about The Alchemist, and it says here it is a fable about following your dream, and I couldn't agree more. So I have my little notes here. I did a book report. I remember doing book reports when I was in primary school, and when I was writing this book report, I thought to myself, oh my god, everything that you go through in life actually comes back to help you at some point, because never in my life did I think that I would be writing a book report once I've finished school and everything, and I hated writing them in primary school, but here it is, back and helping me give this video to you. So I wrote a little book report on The Alchemist, and I wrote a summary of what it is. So I'll just give you a little summary of what happens in the book. So the book follows the journey of a shepherd boy named Santiago, and Santiago lives in Spain, and obviously like he has all these sheep that he herds because he's a shepherd boy. And one day he has this dream where he sits under a sycamore tree in Spain next to this little church, and he has this dream, and this dream is telling him that he needs to go on a journey, and this dream keeps reoccurring. So he decides to go and find a gypsy who is able to interpret what his dream is, and he also has an encounter with a magical man who tells him also what his dream means, and basically they both come to this conclusion that his dream means that he needs to make a journey to Egypt, because he has treasure in the pyramids of Egypt waiting for him. So upon all the advice that he gets from this gypsy and this magical man, he decides, I'm gonna go on this journey. He packs up all his money and the things that he needs to travel, and he makes his journey to Egypt. And he goes through all these different experiences as he's making this journey, and the first one is he actually gets robbed and he loses all his money, which means that now he has to find a job, because how else is he going to make the rest of his trip? He has to pay, he has to buy food, he has to go through different transport and stuff. So he gets this job, and he starts working in a crystal shop. For about a year he stays there, just earning money, saving money, helping the business grow actually so successfully that now tourists really just come to this area because they've heard about this crystal shop that's so amazing, and these crystals are so like, they give you like nice healing and they're just beautiful and everything. So he really helps build up the shop's success, and the shopkeeper is obviously grateful for him. And one day he has this deep conversation with the shopkeeper about following your dreams. And the shopkeeper reveals to him that he, in fact, obviously has a dream, just like most of us. But he's not followed it because, you know, life gets in the way and it's difficult and sometimes it's hopeless, and he's now too old to follow whatever dream it is that he is. You have to get that in the book because I don't want to give all the information. And when the boy hears this, he's like, that's not gonna be my life. I need to get up out of here and go continue my travels to Egypt because I got treasure waiting for me. If I had treasure waiting for me too, I'd be up out of there. But yeah, so after this conversation, he's like, I'm out. He packs all his belongings, all the savings that he's made from his job, you know, that he's earned, and he continues on his journey to the pyramids of Egypt to find out what this dream of his is. And as he continues on this journey, he comes to a halt because he has to cross the desert in Egypt, and so he needs to find transport, to which he finds a caravan where not only him but a group of other people also need to cross the desert for whatever reason it is that they've got. And so he journeys on in this caravan with a group of people crossing the desert of Egypt to get to the pyramids. And here he encounters an Englishman. And this Englishman is crossing the desert because he wants to meet the Alchemist. And this is kind of like a little introduction now to what the Alchemist is. And to his understanding, the Englishman's understanding, alchemy is, you know, you can turn lead to gold. You understand all knowledge of how to cure illnesses. Like you have the philosopher's stone that helps you with this, or the elixir of life that helps you with curing people. And I'm just going to make a little pause here. The philosopher's stone and the elixir of life, for the life of me, I was like, Harry Potter is in this book. What? Because I love Harry Potter. But anyway, I digress. So he's talking about all of this, and he wants to find the alchemist so that he can learn all these secrets in life, because obviously he has gone through ups and downs and woes, and he just wants to find the secrets of life, basically. So he has deep conversations with this Englishman, Santiago, a little shepherd boy, and sometimes he gets annoyed with this Englishman and the Englishman gets annoyed with him because they don't really understand each other. But the Englishman gives him books, and he starts reading these books in the caravan as they journey, as the days pass and stuff in the desert. And he gains all this knowledge from it. And then they have to stop in this little village called Al-Fayoum, because in the desert there's these tribal wars, and in order to not get in the middle of these tribal wars, to not get injured or dragged in and everything, the caravan, the guy who drives the caravan was like, bro, we gotta stop somewhere. We'll stop in Al-Fayoum. It's a little village, you know, we've got marketplaces and everything, and we're gonna stay there. And so it halts his journey to Egypt. And here in Al-Fayoum, our little Santiago finds love. And what's better than love? I mean, he meets this girl, Fatima, and he's like, this woman is beautiful. She's part of me. She makes me feel complete and everything. And obviously, because now he can't travel, he speaks to her more. He likes who he is when he's with her, and now he's forgotten about his dream and everything, in a sense, or he's okay with the fact that his dream is kind of put on hold because he's in love. And a whole bunch of stuff happens to him in this little village, where he actually ends up meeting the alchemist because of the events that happen. And then he journeys on to continue his dream with the alchemist. And let me just say, the reason why he went obviously is because he knows he has to go, because everybody has like an intuition and stuff in his life. But with Fatima in his life, she encourages him to go on this journey, and she talks about, you know, the men in this village, they're travelers, and she understands what it is, you know, to be a traveler's wife. And I mean, she's not a wife or anything, but she's seen the women whose husbands go and they always come back, you know, the desert always brings them back. So she has faith that he's gonna go, but he's gonna come back. And if he doesn't come back, then at least she's had the opportunity to love him, you know. So let me just say, if y'all find love and your love isn't like Fatima's love, then maybe that's not the right love for you, because you need to be able to have a love in your life that still pushes you to follow what is in your heart. If that is something that is healthy and it's not something that hurts other people, you know, and it's something that helps you grow and feel whole and gives you purpose, you need to make sure that the person that you have in your life, or that you choose to have in your life, is somebody that will really give you the support that Fatima gave you. Because she was like, man, I believe in you. You gotta do this. I think that you're gonna come back. I know that you're gonna come back. The love that we have for each other is so strong. Go find your treasure, man. So with that, he goes off on this journey again with the alchemist to the pyramids of Egypt. And yeah, and he eventually makes it to the pyramids, and when he gets there, he starts digging, you know, he's like, I need to find my treasure. He goes, he digs at the pyramids, and then he encounters these two men who beat him up because they want his money. And like, yeah, I mean, this guy, he went through some stuff. So the two men, they want his money, and basically he at some point tells these two men the reason why he's here. Like, I'm here because I had a dream that told me that I need to come here because I have treasure, you know, something that was made just for me. It's here. And one of the guys laughs at him, and he goes, I know all about dreams, and it's worthless following your dreams, because he also had this dream where there was treasure that he needed to find in a sycamore tree in Spain. And this is where the whole book starts, with our little shepherd boy sleeping underneath a sycamore tree in Spain by a church. And now this man in Egypt is telling him that he had a dream about treasure in Spain. And so after being robbed and everything, the boy decides, I'm gonna go back to Spain. And he goes to this little sycamore tree, and he finds his treasure. Yeah, and then he obviously is gonna go back to Fatima, because I mean, that's real love right there. And so this is the plot of the book, is this little shepherd boy having something so strong inside him telling him that he needs to follow, you know, his dream. He gets a little bit of guidance, and he goes and he follows the stream, and he encounters so many people who have so many different life experiences. He learns so many things along the way. He goes through hardship. He's given these little stones, which I believe was also kind of mentioned in the Bible at one point, these stones that help you make a decision before, you know, people, I think it was in the Old Testament, before people were given the Holy Spirit to guide them inside, they had like these little stones, not everybody, where I might be wrong, where, you know, if they pulled out, it would be a specific stone that would say, okay, this is right or this is the wrong decision. So he had these stones, he was given these stones, and he wanted to use them at one point, but when he was given these stones, he was told that, okay, this is to help you, but ultimately you know inside what it is that you're supposed to do, and you've got to trust yourself. So there was one point where he really wanted to use the stones, but he didn't. And I thought that was really beautiful. So yeah, he goes on his journey. He ends up finding what he needs to find in the first place where he was in the beginning. And I thought that this book and the way that it was told and the way that it reads, it's an easy book to read. I don't think that it's difficult. There's some words maybe that are hard to pronounce of the places and stuff, but other than that, I don't really have any negative points about this book. But in my opinion and my understanding of the whole book is that it's talking about life. You know, it's talking about the journey that we all have to take in life, that we have ups and downs that happen in our life. And basically, it's the point that, you know, in life, you kind of already know deep down inside what is good for you. And the thing that stops you is having trust in yourself. And you kind of have to have that trust in yourself, and you kind of have to keep persevering when so many things happen, so many bad things happen to you. Because I mean, bad things, or I don't want to say bad things, but things that you wouldn't necessarily wish upon yourself or anybody else when they happen to you. Because I don't want to say bad and good. I mean, it's life. And you have a season that you're up, and you have a season that you're down in life. And the seasons where you're maybe down in life, it's reminding yourself that, okay, I have to have faith that everything is going to work out, and I have to trust myself. And as long as I'm not doing something that is hurting somebody, you know, even if you have, you learn from it, and you tell yourself, this is not something I want to go through again, and it's not something I maybe want to do again, and you start building this love for yourself. Because the more that you make a promise to yourself, or you give trust for yourself, the more you start to love yourself, and then the more you kind of have strength to carry on with life. And whenever some other trial comes, you remind yourself, I went through this back then, and I've been through a painful process, and I overcame it. And it reminds you, and it teaches you, and your intuition grows so much stronger for you, in the sense that you now believe that I will get through this. And I think, in my opinion and in my understanding of what this book, or my interpretation of The Alchemist, is basically talking about that. It's basically talking about how you should not live in fear, and you should follow your dream, trust your intuition, and it's okay to get help, because he got help and he got advice at the beginning of what he was supposed to do. But at the end of the day, it was, if you look at the end of the book and the beginning of the book, he got his treasure at the end of the book from where he started in the beginning of the book. And I think in my interpretation, sometimes the things that you want to achieve in life, or the things that you want to get, you always feel like you have to go somewhere else, or you have to do something else, or you have to be with somebody else to get the things that you want, but it's always already within you. And sometimes maybe you have to go through a hard process in life where you get robbed, or you get beaten, or whatever. I'm not saying I don't wish any of you get beaten or robbed or whatever, but whatever hardship life throws at you, you know, maybe you got fired from your job, or maybe you lost your savings, or maybe you had to go through a breakup, or maybe you failed an exam, or whatever, you know, whatever hurts you in life, or whatever happens in life that was a bit, you weren't expecting it to happen. Maybe sometimes you have to go through those things for you to realize that already what it is that you're looking for is within you, and those things that you went through revealed that you have that strength within you, that you have that intuition, that you have that knowledge, and it's taught you a little bit more about yourself going through those experiences. And that's the interpretation that I got from this book. And yeah, the way that it is written, and the way that I listened to it first on Audible and then read it later on in the book, I felt so much pressure being kind of taken off of me. I don't know how to explain it, but I really felt like, okay, it is okay to trust yourself. Because sometimes when you see people who have confidence because they trust themselves, I mean, having confidence in yourself means that you trust yourself. And And when you see people having confidence, sometimes it can come across to you, maybe if you're insecure, like, oh, that person is arrogant, or oh my god, I'm not being humble because I have so much confidence in myself, and maybe that comes across as I'm not grateful for where I am, or I'm not humble. And that's not necessarily the case, because you can be confident in yourself and still be humble for where you are. And when I read this book, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulder, in the sense that it's okay for me to trust myself and not come across as an arrogant person, or as, someone who's ungrateful, because I have confidence in my abilities, or in stepping out and doing something that takes a lot of courage, that maybe the next person next to me would say, that's crazy, what the heck are you doing, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to that, and it was also a reminder for me of, following my intuition. Obviously, you analyze what it is that you're thinking, you have your pros and your cons, however you do analytical, processes in your mind, or if you write it down, or anything, you go through those processes, and then ultimately, whatever decision you make, that's, you're following your intuition. Even if you get advice from someone, you're following your intuition. And it made me realize that, or remember that, hey, you have a divine spirit inside you that already kind of knows what this life is, even though consciously you don't know what happens in this life, and you don't know how to navigate it. Subconsciously, there's always like a knowing, like, I'm gonna be okay, or I'm gonna make this decision, and I think this is gonna be the outcome, because you have this subconscious knowing inside of you. And this book was a reminder of Daphne, my name, if you didn't know. You have this knowing inside of you, and it is okay to trust yourself, and you need to do it more, especially if you want to accomplish some of the dreams that you have, because they're big dreams, And yeah, I would definitely recommend this book, because it gave me so much peace, and it gave me the strength to accept peace, because I wasn't accepting peace. Sometimes I felt like I needed to always be stressed out, or if my life wasn't exactly the way that I wanted, I needed to show that, okay, I can't sit down and relax, and I can't sit down and do this because my life is not where I want it to be. But no, I can have peace with my life not yet being where I want it to be, because I have this subconscious knowing that it is going to be where I want it to be, And that is what I found in this book. So, that is the end of this book review for this one. I honestly would 100% recommend this book to anybody. It's not a long book. There's like 200 pages. Yeah, there's no page numbers on here, but there's like, I think it's like 208 pages. And like I said, like, if you're not really big on reading and sitting down because maybe your eyes get tired easily, or I don't know, get it on Audible, because it's worth it as well. And on Audible, I know for a fact that, like, when you sign up, every month you get like a free credit, which means that you can download a book for free without having to pay for it. And so if you got a free credit on Audible, I'm hungry. On Audible, it's worth it to use it on this book. And it's also worth it to spend your money, because it's an investment in yourself and in developing your mindset. So yeah, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I know I gave a summary of what happens in the book, but my summary does not do any justice to how it is written, and I would say you gotta read it yourself to realize like the powerfulness of a book. I love books, so that is the book review for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed me speaking about it. If there's any other points that you guys, if you've read this book, have on it that I've missed out, please leave a comment down below and let everybody else know, so that they also have your perspective of it. If there's other things that you guys want me to include in book reviews, like a little bit maybe more about the author, let me know, and then for the next one I'll try and make sure to add those in. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and please like and subscribe to this video, share it, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see